Hey, good morning. So I'm well into making my Saturday orders. I only got a couple bags left to make, but this video I wanted to talk about, this isn't going to be anything about, the day-to-day operations of the farm, but it's going to be the value of grain. So I read an article last night, and it was a bit kind of hit or miss on what they were driving at there, right? So the long story short of the article was the price of bread could go up, but it's not the farmer's fault because the price of wheat went up or something ridiculous. And there was a nonsensical way around trying to get to that. And I think one of the wheat commissions, maybe it's Saskatchewan, responded and they're like, oh, don't blame the farmer for the price of bread going up. And I just thought to myself, like, that's crappy journalism and everything at best. And do people actually think that the farmer has any control over what the product is worth on the shelf? So we grow on our farm 5 types of grain. That's just the way it is. Our growing season doesn't really allow us to grow other things. People are trying, the grain companies are trying to get us different varieties that mature faster and things like that. That's also all for another topic. So anyways, the 5 we grow green peas, or peas I guess in general, canola, oats, barley, and wheat. So I thought, I want to know. So I know what the farmer gets per bushel, so what is it worth at the end per bushel? Now, all this stuff at the end, you don't buy per bushel, you'll buy it by the pound, or you'll buy it in a finished product like a loaf of bread or a can of beer or whatever. But for the sake of this, I am going to say what the farmer gets per bushel and what it's worth per bushel at the end. So the first one, and this one I knew last year already. I had to be in Bulk Barn. I was looking for some other types of beans for a different thing. And I came across green peas roasted and salted. Now the peas we grow on our farm, if they make a good quality, they go into a niche market for snack food. So I thought, okay, that's an excellent side-by-side comparison. We grow a pea that if it makes good quality, it goes into the snack food market, and these are snack foods. So at Bulk Barn, it's sold by the pound. So just the easy conversion, just go on the internet, figure out what it is per bushel, per pound, per gram, per whatever. So anyways, they sell it for $4.50 a pound. That's $270 a bushel. The most we've ever been paid for our green peas is 23 cents a pound, or $14 a bushel. So that's a $256 per bushel spread from buying it directly from the farmer for $14 and selling it to the end user for $270. So I guess it's up to the consumer to decide, did they add $256 value to it? Now, I know people are going to be like, well, they got a factory, and they got this, and they got that, and they got everything else. That's absolutely true, and I'm not knocking the value-added people. But I will say, the farmer has expense too. So that $14 a bushel, out of that we had to pay 75 cents to clean the peas, plus we had to grow the peas and harvest the peas. We need to buy the chemical, the fertilizer, the seed. We got to buy the land, or make those payments. So the farmer has expense too. Is it, how do they relate? I didn't do that research. I mean, maybe a guy could, but my point is, the $14 the farmer gets, out of that, he's got to pay for everything too. So the $270 the value added guy gets, yeah, I realize he has expense, but, is it that much, So, and this is all just in response to that article about the farmer has or the producer, like this is the same in cattle and all that other stuff. They have absolutely nothing to do with what the price is on the shelf. So that was green peas. $14 to the farmer, sold in the store for $270 a bushel. So the next one I did was wheat. So this is going to be, and I had to use the proper comparison. So number one, mid to higher protein wheat. Right now, futures prices, I think they're $7, $7.25 or whatever a bushel. That's what the farmer would get, okay? Apparently, out of a bushel of wheat, you can yield 42 loaves of bread. The average cost of a loaf of bread in Canada is $2.80 a loaf. So that ends up being $117 worth of value added to the grain. So they pay you, the farmer, $7.25 for one bushel of wheat. Then they take that bushel, they make 42 loaves of bread, sell each loaf for $2.80, which generates them $117. So that means for every bushel and this is why I just did the comparison from bushel to bushel. Because yes, they got to buy all the other ingredients to make the bread, and they got to make the bread. But that leaves them up around $110 of difference, right? From the $117 value that they get out of that bushel and the $7.25 they paid the farmer. So that's wheat. So then I did canola, and canola actually surprised me. Apparently, for every bushel of canola, they yield about 11 liters of canola oil. So then when I looked up, I think you can buy a 3-liter thing of canola oil for $5.50 or something like that. So it ends up being like $1.80 a liter, which, like, canola is kind of like, this shocked me because they pay the farmer $13.50 for 1 bushel of canola, and then they crush it, get the oil out of it, and the 11 liters they get out of that bushel, they sell for $20 and like 10 cents or something. So that's only $7. But the other thing that I didn't take into account, and I didn't even look up, is what canola meal is worth. And I expect canola meal is worth as much or more as the oil. And if that would be the case, then they're getting, a little over $40 a bushel value out of the bushel they bought from the farmer for $13.50. So I guess, I'll leave that up to you. If you want to look up what a pound of canola meal is worth, give it. But I know it's quite expensive because I had a guy actually want to sell me canola meal to mix in the feed, and it was that expensive that it actually didn't make sense. I asked some of the guys that would be interested in it, and they're like, no, not for that much. Just we'll just keep getting the feed you're getting. So that's canola, $13.50 to the farmer, and at the end they get a little over $20 just for the oil, and then whatever they do with the meal is on top of that, which I expect is probably as much or more than the oil. So there's another cost spread. So then I did oats. That's another one of my I love growing oats. Favorite crop to grow. Just fun to harvest, fun to seed. Everything about oats is great. Oats were, I think last year you could get up to $4 for nice oats. This year I heard it's around $3.50. 34 pounds in a bushel of oats. I didn't really know what to compare to, so I was like, whatever, I'll just look up what a bag of rolled oats is worth. So a bag of rolled oats is worth $3 basically, and it's a pound. So, that's it's 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds for $3, which means they pay the farmer $3.50 for that bushel of oats, and they sell that bushel rolled for just under $46 a bushel. So that's another pretty good spread, I would say. It seems to be that the cereals, like wheat, your barley, your oats, have a big spread. The peas is crazy, but so that'll bring us to our last grain, and that's barley. And that was kind of fun because we grow a malt barley. So that was a bit more figuring, but this is how malt barley pencils out. If you can get malt barley, which means it has to germ over 98% so it can be effective in the malting process. The highest we ever got for that was $6.25 a bushel. So the barley bushel weight standard is 48 pounds per bushel. With 48 pounds of barley, they can make 109 liters of beer. 1 liter of beer is $5.28. So 5 times 28 times 109 liters, $576 is what they sell that bushel for once it's made into beer, and having only paid the farmer $6.25. So my point to all of this was, I guess, the ridiculousness of that article. I'm not sure how disconnected people are, but if people have any sense that the farmer somehow controls what the price of the product in the supermarket is going to be, they have another thing coming. That's just not true. So I did our 5 grains. I'm going to write it out and just put a clip of that on this video in case my ramblings didn't make sense. you can see that there's already such a huge spread. Basically, food in the store is already so expensive in relation to the actual cost of the raw product that, you know, it could fluctuate hugely without affecting profits for the, you know, for the value-added guys in the middle. So, anyways, I hope you learned something from the video. I know I did. I didn't even know that about. I knew that about the green peas, but I really didn't know that about anything else. Canola was kind of shocking to me. I didn't realize that it was that tight on canola, and maybe it's not. I don't know. So, yeah, if you have, if you've got friends that are like, oh, farmers, man, they're just breaking it in and they're milking the system and they're, you know, blah, 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 send them this video. Maybe they don't realize that we don't have anything to do with the price of a loaf of bread. Nothing. Zero to do with that. So, anyways, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all on the next one.